and welcome, Talk family, to another episode of Talk the Torque. I'm your host, Desh and today I am delighted to introduce and welcome the dealer principal at Suzuki Kyalami, Gerrie Van Der Kaay. Now, I've spent some time with Gerrie off air, and I must say this is such an important, such a crucial, such a significant interview. It's because when men like this come to the forefront to champion and to be the catalyst for change and this transformation of which we want to see take place in the motoring industry, now that excites me. Now, the importance of teamwork is often reiterated by many, which is exactly why Gerrie has ensured that he has built a solid foundation of trust between all employees in his dealership. He is always quick to act when any problems arise and deals with it swiftly and effectively. His focus and drive is honestly admirable, always ensuring that his team holds themselves to the same standards. He is a strong strategist and very goal-oriented, which has ensured the many great outcomes and much greater success for his dealership. The needs of his customers are one of utmost importance to him, and he makes sure to keep up with the constant evolution of customer expectations. So let's give a warm welcome to Gerrie, and as always, this interview is proudly brought to you by Suzuki Solutions. Hello, Gerrie.
Hello, Desh.
It's so nice to always re-greet the people in case I forgot to greet you the first time round. So, Gerrie, I must say that spending some time, very little time, but some time with you off air was so amazing. I'm absolutely in awe of what you are going to bring to the table and bring to our movement, because you really are passionate about the transformation which we wish to see for women in the motoring trade. So thank you so much for joining us, Gerrie.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's start with this 26-year history. I remember that part of our conversation, 26 years in the motoring trade. Where did it all begin?
So I've spent most of my grown-up life in the motor industry. So 26 years in total that I've spent in the motor industry. And I started off as a used car sales executive with a company called Auto Pedigree.
Oh, wow.
Back in 1996. And as is the case with most startups in terms of your career and being in the used car industry and talking to friends and business connections that also work in the industry, you always hear about franchise business and about new car sales, and eventually it becomes something that you aspire to. And those aspirations took me to a job at Toyota, selling new cars for a very short while, when the major opportunity arose and Renault South Africa decided to establish itself as an independent OEM again in the country, and I joined the company in 1997, and the retail experience I've had since then has been unbelievable. And I spent the next 13 years selling, managing and dealer principaling Renault dealers for the best part of 13 years.
Wow. So you say that you spent, so you were in the industry for 26 years, so you must have started when you were 10 then, right? Just checking.
So in motor industry terms, if you count in dog years, yes. I was 10 years old. And I'm in good shape for a 25-year-old.
No, definitely, absolutely.
I like to believe. And in motor industry, yes, I am 25. But the truth be told, I turned 46 in a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
So hence my statement earlier that I've spent my entire grown-up life literally in this industry. And dare I say I've seen it all. I can't say I've seen it all, but I've heard it all.
Oh yeah.
Most definitely.
After COVID, we haven't seen it all.
Yeah, we've heard everything and seen nothing. It's true. It's very
So now you're with Suzuki, beautiful brand. Tell us more about the brand, the dealership, and the evolution of Suzuki as well. When I was younger, all I knew about Suzuki was the Jimny.
Well, that's a good start, because the average South African, when you had to ask them about Suzuki 10 years ago, they'd say, which bike are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the immediate association with Suzuki, specifically for the local consumers, has been motorcycles. And they've done a tremendous job.
Absolutely.
Building the brand in its own right. And Suzuki is still renowned and recognized as one of the top tier motorcycle and outboard marine brands. Enter stage left Suzuki Auto, that established themselves as an independent OEM in South Africa in 2008, launching with 4 cars over a space of 4 months, and growing from a brand that sold 100, 200, 300 cars a month to a brand that sells 3,000 plus cars a month.
Wow, that's amazing.
Over the last 13 years, has been a journey to behold.
Right.
And having been part of that journey on OEM and dealer side has been an unbelievable privilege for me. It's literally like seeing a newborn child grow and excel. This little child didn't just grow, and it didn't just turn into a puppy with big paws that was falling over itself on a regular basis. It's in full flight.
Absolutely, and I love what they do at OEM level in terms of the activities and driving the brand. It's so amazing. I love to see it. Tony Hurst is part of the team as well. Yes. Absolutely phenomenal woman. So really doing well to support the dealer network as well. So tell us more about how you feel about the movement, the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, which is powered by MFC, a division of Nedbank.
I applaud the movement. I think I was a little bit irresponsible in my statement from earlier, but when I speak about things like this, I don't speak so that people may be impressed about what I say. I speak from the heart. Yeah. And the fact that there has to be a movement to drive this awareness is actually a shame. These things should happen naturally.
Yes.
The recognition, irrespective of who you are, should come naturally. It shouldn't be you have to work twice as hard or prove yourself 10 times over to get the same opportunities as the next person. It shouldn't be based on how strong you are, or whether a man or a woman. It should rely and depend on your effort, your input, and the willingness you bring to the table.
Absolutely.
In terms of making a success of your business.
Absolutely, the capability, and I think women and men should not be identified by, well, their body parts. They should be identified for their capability, their mind, their power, their education in terms
Absolutely.
of, moving up the ranks, and we should not be entitled as women. And we might.
Well, no one should be.
No one should be entitled. We should work for it.
I agree.
So, what is something that surprised you in entering the motoring trade? And I asked this question simply because, as you said, men and women are actually not that different. So I want to know what's going to surprise our viewers when they do enter into the motoring trade and want to move up the ranks.
That it's the land of opportunity. Okay, there's just no two ways about it.
Right.
Excuse me, the motor industry is ever evolving in many ways, and in all aspects of business, it is evolving. So gone are the days where the perception is that becoming a salesperson or a technician or a receptionist or a stock controller is merely a stepping stone until you find the job you're actually looking for, because it's not the case. If you are career driven and you are goal orientated, the opportunities that exist in the industry, whether you are at a dealership, working for a family business, working for a group, working in a corporate, or working at an OEM, the sky is the limit.
Yes.
If you educate yourself, you get the right experience, And as I just said, you are goal orientated and you work towards those goals. You'll be the MD of any company you wish to be.
And as you said, I mean, the opportunities are endless, and you can actually be anything you want in the motoring trade.
It's a fact. One thing that in our lifetimes, and probably the next generation, will not go away, it's dealerships.
Yeah.
As much as people want to claim that they're taking their business online, it's becoming virtual, people do not buy where they can't have a personal experience or where they can't see a face behind a voice to have a relationship with someone before they make the second biggest investment of their life.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a product that's tangible. You want to see the touch and feel should be there, and nothing can take away from that.
I agree. And if anything, that space is growing.
Yes, absolutely. And what can, sorry.
No, please. So that speaks to the increase in opportunities for everybody that's willing to immerse themselves.
Yes, and I must say, in terms of the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards or our show, we do recognize and try and reach across the spectrum, the ladies from the wash base to the front office to sales, F&I. I mean, every single person, and as a dealer principal, but every single person plays such an integral role in the success of a dealership, right?
That's a fact. And if my generation of men want to admit it or not, the ladies bring skills to the table that we cannot match. In a lot of places, we don't have the organizational skills in general that women have.
Right, not all of us, but yeah.
Okay, let's just say most of them.
Most of them, yeah.
Leave it at that. Fact is, so you're looking for the most effective and most successful F&I managers. 99% of those are female.
Absolutely.
Accountants, stock controllers, vehicle admin, where accuracy and discipline is of the utmost importance, and where you can't be distracted.
Yes, yes.
And we have to multitask. Did I say that? The ladies actually are preferred candidates for those very important and key positions in dealerships.
Absolutely, but they've crossed the boundaries. I had 4 dealer principals in here just last week, females, that have taken number 1 in their respective OEMs. In
and
terms
ask
of
them where they started?
Exactly. So, I mean, it's absolutely important to recognize these women that are making this. And you talk about bringing these certain qualities to the table, but what about compassion and empathy and understanding, tolerance? Those are things that women are born to hone in terms of being the nurturing people that they are. So
it's a fact.
It's so important,
and an undeniable fact at that. And if you're looking for the balance, balancing the emotional with the physical output or physical exertion, then that's where the balance comes in, and that's where that balance plays a very pertinent role in the success of the business.
Right.
And balance comes in various forms. It comes in the form of the compassion and the empathy that you've just referred to, because it does turn your workplace into a slightly, I don't want to call it a softer environment, but a more understanding environment, maybe, which in the end makes for a more productive setting.
Absolutely.
A place people want to be, a place people want to be part of, a place where people want to come to and be productive and contribute.
Yes. And I mean, you spend 8 hours of your day at work, and I mean, people in
not
dealerships, not even 8 hours. So it's your second home, and you need that comfort zone as well to be built, and that type of culture or that environment to be, to be manufactured or to be, in the industry. So what can someone or some person, woman or man, expect from a position like the one you are currently in?
A lot of pressure, needless to say. I know, it's putting it mildly. There's an immense amount of pressure, and it's a big responsibility at the end of the day, because you are ultimately responsible for maintaining the balance we've just referred to.
Right.
And that balance doesn't come from ordering people to think, act, and behave in a certain manner. You have to lead people into that way of thinking.
Right.
Okay. Right. So yes, you manage a business as a dealer principal. You're not managing your people. If you think you are managing your people, you're making a mistake, because people will act in accordance with what you are looking for when you're looking.
Right.
And when you're not looking, they'll default back to being the person that they are.
Absolutely.
Unless they're aspiring to become something better, unless they're aspiring to be part of that great idea that you are laying out for them or sketching for them. And they want to be part of that environment that you are working hard to create.
Right.
And again, the balance comes into play.
Yes.
And the balance comes from the way that you treat your people. The balance comes in the way that you don't give opportunities to people that don't deserve it. And if people are deserving of an opportunity, irrespective of who they are, if they deserve the opportunity, they should be given the opportunity.
Absolutely.
That platform should exist for them to excel, to improve themselves, and to educate themselves.
And what advice can you offer us in order to learn, in order to stay on top of things within your role? How do you do it, Gerrie? Give us your tricks of the trade.
Well, and never think you've arrived. Let's start there.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, because you haven't.
Oh gosh, I say that all the time. I've arrived. No, I haven't then.
Each to his own. Personally, that's not the attitude you should have when you get out of bed in the morning. It's not the attitude you should have when you greet your staff in the morning.
Absolutely.
Never think you've arrived. Stay grounded, stay humble, lead by example. There will always be challenges and setbacks and mistakes that happen.
Yeah.
It's about how you deal with them. It's about how you react to it, and it's how you learn from it to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I like that. I like that piece of advice. Never think that you've arrived, and stay humble, right?
It's valuable advice at every level of industry and every level of your career.
Right.
Because you can always fall.
And I mean, the lady that I had a little bit earlier on, she said, Desh, life is just still my classroom, and we still got to learn so much.
That's
and
a great outlook.
Right? So how do you work under pressure, and what is the most effective way to operate under this pressure?
You plan and prioritize. Very simple. It sounds simple, but there's one recipe that works, and you need to plan and you need to prioritize. You cannot do everything at the same time.
Right.
So there are going to be times of crisis. There are going to be pressurized times. And in our environment specifically, and we've had some recent examples, most of the time we sell off a stock list.
Right.
So which means when vehicles arrive with us, there's always a bottleneck for cars to be prepared for eagerly awaiting customers and get delivered to them. But if in one dealership there are 50 of those at one given time, if you don't manage it, it's going to cause chaos.
Yes.
Absolutely. So with one proper meeting with all stakeholders, understanding what the priorities are, and having a plan to meet every priority and obligation in the way we ranked it and agreed on it. It was quick work, as an example.
Right.
But pressurized situations calls for a calm head. That's most important. Obviously, don't lose your crap, because that spills over to the people that look up to you to control the situation or take control of the situation.
Oh, that's amazing. And Gerrie, I think that's one of the reasons we engage men on our platform. We had this conversation earlier. Why men? And I think it's this advice that we can only learn from. You don't know how many women are watching you right now, how many young boys or men are listening to this, and they want to be the next Gerrie Van Der Kaay.
Don't create that pressure. That's not
But I mean, and this is the reason, because that is brilliant advice and something that I can't do. Something that a lot of dealer principals female dealer principals can't do. Why? Because they're still young in the game, and they need someone like you to aspire to. They need someone like you to mentor them, and that's the reason we've invited you to mobilize this movement and to stand in solidarity with us, to say we are here as men, as guys, as we've been here for 26 years in the industry, and we are here. Can you validate that?
Very easily. I'm a big supporter of opportunities for people that deserve it. And being overlooked because you're a woman, same applies other way, is wrong. It's wrong at every single level, because from my experience and having worked for female dealer principals myself, and I've learned from them.
Oh wow!
So a lot of what I apply today, I can with confidence say I've learned from 2 female dealer principals I've worked for in my young days, and that's actually also driven me. Right. I mean, not in an egotistical manner, but you get to a point where you say, this lady's done exactly what I'm doing right now. Why can't I? Right. And it drives you and it motivates you.
That's so amazing. I need to get those women here, because I've done over 300 interviews, and this is the first time a man has said, I've learned from a woman DP. That is powerful. That is really, really powerful right there. So leave me with those names. Okay, I need to stalk them. I need to be the journalist that I am and go and stalk them.
With pleasure.
And what should always be considered when starting a new project? I'm sure as a leader, as a dealer principal, this is something you've got to, often approach new ways of being innovative, or just in terms of, trying to warrant that success that you need. What advice can you give us in terms of that?
Well, for starters, you need to listen more than you speak. Okay, it's rather important, because the best ideas come from the most unexpected sources. Okay, new projects are always tricky, because a new project means it's probably uncharted territory, something that hasn't been done before, and it needs to challenge the current way of thinking. And the current way of thinking is always conservative. It's always guarded. It's always careful. Right. And when you're taking on a new project, it means it comes with a certain element of risk. So you need to obviously figure out first what you're doing to mitigate the risk. Right. So understand your risks, understand the goals of the new project. Right. And then quantify, and always share. So you pull your team in. You're not going to embark on a new project without the buy-in from your teammates in any event. So a new project will always be a team effort. Right. So make sure you include everybody, make sure you share ideas with everybody, and at the end, when there's a general agreement in terms of the direction or in terms of the project and the responsibilities, you'll launch with a fair amount of success. I like that. Because you have buy-in. And
what do you love most about it? We spoke about it earlier. We spoke about the brand. Suzuki Kyalami is part of which group?
The Bramley Group. It's part of 2 dealerships. A family business.
It's a family business. Yes. So what do you love most about the brand itself in terms of the Bramley Group?
Well, we're talking about 2 different brands here. There's the Suzuki brand, and then if I may say, the Clive van Kerkhoven brand within the Suzuki Bramley Group, because he's the owner of the 2 dealerships. And I lovingly started calling him Uncle Clive about 12 years ago when I met him, when I started working for Suzuki South Africa. And at the time, because I was where I was and he was a dealer, I obviously spoke to all the dealers, and he only had his own group to look after. Uncle Clive stuck, and the entire Suzuki family in the country calls him Uncle Clive, which is beautiful. But the culture of caring, truly caring, and showing that you care for your customers, the culture of looking after your customers, and the culture of creating the home of the happy customer is literally what the company stands for. Wow. And it's what we work towards, inwards and outwards.
Right. So, Gerrie, I'd like to conclude not that I want to, but I'd like to conclude.
So we have work to do, huh?
We have work to do, and I want to say that, conclude this interview. It's almost month end now, and you're here. You've taken our time because you believe in our course, and I really, really appreciate that. But Gerrie, it's guys like you that are making a difference in our initiative. So I thank you so much. I thank you so much for coming, for contributing to this platform in empowering men and women, actually, because we never know who this interview is going to touch and whose lives it's going to change. So thank you so much. And is there anything that you'd like to add?
Well, firstly, thank you for the opportunity. To me, it came as a big surprise when I received the invitation, and it took me 47 hours before I RSVP'd. And 48 hours is the cutoff time.
Yeah.
So I really had to think about this nicely. But I appreciate the opportunity. And as I said to you in our pre-interview quick get-together, excuse me, if you're going to engage on forums like this for your own gain and benefit, you're in the wrong place.
Right.
Most definitely. To come here and sit and advocate, not necessarily for the improvement of women's opportunities and rights in this industry, is also not necessarily the perfect way to put it. But you need to understand what's right is right.
Right.
Okay, and if you're deserving of an opportunity and you've done the work and you've proven yourself, it's a no-brainer. You should be given the opportunity. And there's lots of very deserving ladies out there that are working as hard as the men in our industry that should be considered for the next step.
Well, thank you for answering in the 47th hour, because as you said, 48 hours is all you have to respond, and I'm just one person. I do 5 interviews a day sometimes. But I'm just one person trying to reach the entire, I have one of my team members that always says, Desh, you're trying to change the world, but sometimes you're just changing one person's world. You've changed my world. But we're striving to reach more people. And I just want to say it for my viewers' knowledge as well. We have 82,000 women in motoring South Africa. We have 304,000 men in motoring South Africa. We would love to balance these scales. I might not see it in my lifetime, and it's unfortunate, but maybe we can just leave it better than we found it. So at the end of the day, every single word that is spoken on this platform is going to contribute to the end result. So I thank you for that.
You are most welcome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Viewers, thank you so much for watching, commenting, and sharing our interviews and content. Our non-profit companies, the Motoring Women of the Year Awards, powered by MFC and Evo by Nedbank, and the Talk the Torque Studios, powered by Sariti Solutions, are aimed at recognizing and celebrating the women of motoring South Africa. We are not just telling stories, we are changing lives. Together, we aim to empower and uplift the women of our trade. And for those of you that are searching for your new ride, please visit www.otto.evo.africa. We have thousands of vehicles on sale for you to choose from, and we only advertise on behalf of reliable and trustworthy MFC accredited dealerships. This car listing portal is incredibly user-friendly, and you can also find vehicle reviews and car maintenance tips and advice, all courtesy of Talk the Torque Studios. So ladies, I'm going to leave you with this little piece of advice, and I think having a Gerrie here, it just reminds me that there are people that will advocate for your change and for transformation, but also there are people that will often come into your life and give you a million reasons why your dreams are unrealistic or impossible. And then there are people who truly believe in you and your ability to achieve anything despite your past or your challenges or whatever it is that you have insecurities about. You get to choose who you believe, so choose wisely. Don't let the fear and opinions of others hold you back from achieving your dreams. It is so important to believe in yourself. You are incredible. You are amazing. You are definitely capable of whatever you set your mind to. It's not just a cliche that, or just a saying or a quote that whatever you believe you can achieve. Trust me, I've been there, done that. If your mind can conceive it, you can achieve it. And with that, I'd like to remind you that the question isn't who's going to let me. It always should remain, who's going to stop me.